once you let go. Let me tell you, friend, believe me when I say I know. It always feels like we're punching in. Well, I'm glad you stopped by. The fun is about to begin. You paid good money at the door and get ready for a real good show. If you wanna have a real good time with me tonight, you gotta move like crazy, dancing in the pale moonlight. We can all get down, spin inside out, I'm telling you. If you really wanna groove, you gotta make a move.
Hey, you know what time of year it is? It's the end of 2021. Piss on you, COVID.
And it's the time of the year when you realize you didn't do a lot of things that you were planning to do that year.
That's right. So we made it through another year, another dollar made, another dollar saved, maybe.
Maybe.
Probably not. But yeah, so we are here and just gonna be another episode where we kind of chill out and talk. You know, it's the end of the year. Let's just chill.
Well, and I think it's a time of the year when everybody's kind of reflecting and thinking, you know, how the last year went and thinking about what are my resolutions going to be for the upcoming year. So it's a great time to talk about that because I'm sure it's on everybody's mind right about now.
Right. Got to get the workout plan in place.
Yeah.
We're gonna, we're not gonna eat out anymore.
About all the things you're going to give up.
Till January 2nd. When it's late at night and you're like, I don't want to cook. I don't want to do dishes. But anyway, yeah, so last week we talked about micro movements and micro failures and that you could do research, you could study, you could become an expert in what you want to do. And that doesn't require you to quit a job or cash in your savings. And you can, find out, does this idea hold water? Mm-hmm. The other thing after we recorded that I was thinking about is that's also important is don't be proud. Don't be so like, this is my thing and I'm going to do this and it has to be this and it has to look like A, B, C, D, and X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. Because while you're doing that research and you're becoming an expert, maybe you find out there's a lot of leaks.
Yeah.
Maybe you find out there's a better way. Mm-hmm. But you're like, no, that's not what I want. And
yeah, I mean, I think some people stick to the plan to their detriment.
Yes.
And I think it's more about sticking to your overall objectives than it is the plan per se and the specifics of the plan. And
in prior episodes, I've talked about our emotions and our feelings being liars and deceivers, and that is the root of this, is because we feel like this is what it's supposed to be. This is what I feel what it's supposed to look like, and we're unwilling to be open to that. Okay, but I wanted it to be on this corner of the street in this neighborhood, but that building is going to cost me $60,000 more when this golden nugget of an opportunity could be on the other side of the street. And don't be proud. It could be maybe not what breaks your business, but it could be what launches it into a grand slammed opportunity. To not be so proud and let your passion develop and blossom into something that could it could evolve into something different. I know when I started Mills Farm, Nebraska, I wanted it to be more event based and tourism. And one of the events that was already up and going, because I knew it would be hard for me to start brand new events and get traction. But they're here in central Nebraska on Highway 2 in Ravenna is an event called Jaunt, and it's huge. Brings thousands and thousands of people from all over the country to Nebraska. And I'm like, there's an audience already. I don't have to do any of the work, and it's already there. So
how do I leverage that existing audience?
And because I did that, I thought, okay, I need goofy stuff to put on the walls and barnwood. And so I started this process of making signs, which had nothing to do with my original plan, but I knew that there was an audience. And so I followed that. And when we had bees, we sold honey, we had chicken eggs. We were making this whole, kind of theme park attraction, Mills Farm, Nebraska. But the customers, where the money was at, was going a different way.
Right.
And I followed that.
Yeah.
And that would be the best example.
Well, know your customers. I mean,
Exactly.
One of the golden rules of business is know your customer.
And the beautiful thing about it is we still do events when the opportunity's right, when it makes sense. We brought the circus to town, and we still do all those things that we originally wanted to do. But we figured out a way to pay the bills and keep doing it. And that's what you got to think about. So those are some of the things that I, wanted to recap from the last episode and was thinking about. And, it's just, all good things to consider and how to apply to your situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think adaptability is really kind of knowing the customer and getting in tune with the customer and being willing to adapt to continue to meet, customer needs, customer demand is really important.
Yes. So, Kirk, do you got any New Year's resolutions?
Well, that's a great topic. I think it's on everybody's minds. I think it's probably the best topic given the timing of the release of this particular episode. And I think New Year's resolutions are important. I also believe in something that I refer to as like a New Year's theme. Several years I've, kind of reflected, and in the same way you do for, New Year's resolutions, and to kind of think, what do I want to do differently in the upcoming year? And sometimes it's been more about like, how do I want to live differently? And how do I want to change my lifestyle? And one thing I did that I found was hugely helpful, for several years, is I had the idea of a theme song for a particular year. I think about songs that I liked that, encapsulated what I wanted kind of my life to be like. And I found this alarm clock, I think it was at IKEA, that it would allow you to record, part of a song. So I literally had my wake up on my alarm set to that song every day.
Right.
And so I'd wait. So the first thing I'd hear in the morning was that song. So it gets you off to get you really in the mode of whatever that theme is and how you want to live your life. And, that particular, one of the songs was Life, Love, and Laughter by Donovan Frankenreiter. It was at a time where I was like traveling, 70, 80% of the time, much of it overseas, working many, if not most weekends. And so I really wanted to, I think people have a propensity to set their objectives and their themes and everything about, their career. But I really wanted to make sure, I made my oldest son, Grant, a priority. And so that was kind of a reminder of, making sure I was making time, to enjoy life with him, to spend time with him, to enrich his life. And, it's not exactly in sync with the lyrics of the song, but for whatever reason, it worked for me.
But you have the personal connection, so it meant that to you.
It meant that to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and that's, I'm sure that, and a lot of songwriters are like that. So what does it mean? Well, I don't know.
What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to you? That's like, and a lot of them leave it that open for that very reason, because, there's tons of time. Everybody draws their own conclusions and meanings from things. So
yeah,
I think it's really good. And I think you have a valid point, because with this type of thing, if you want something to be successful, I would say a trait or something that you have to do is you have to be obsessed with it, in the sense you have to always be thinking on it.
Yes.
You can't let it sit.
You're not going to get meaningful change out of letting it be idle.
Right.
You've got to embrace that. You've got to be reminded of it, not just once a month. You've got to be reminded of it daily, and
right.
ideally multiple times a day.
And you have to be on it. With that being said, you have others in your life, and you have to take those step backs and be like, okay, right now I have to pause. Right now we have to do this, you know, and so that's very important. You can lose yourself in it, and you'll probably be very successful in what you're obsessed with, but you're probably going to lose everything else.
Yeah. And that balance is always tricky.
So
tricky
balance
for everybody.
balance is huge. You know, you got to do that.
And that was pretty good.
Hey, Rylie here. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Make a Move podcast. For more content, check us out on all major social media platforms and makeamovepodcast.com. Until next time, get off your butt.